let me just... There we go. That's a little more on theme. Now, I'm a little late to the party, but let's talk Hazbin Hotel. Now, for those of you who don't know, Hazbin Hotel started off as an indie animation project that released its pilot back in, 2019? And it took the internet by storm. It was picked up by A24 and was produced through Amazon Prime. So the small-time little YouTube series had its big break. After almost 5 years of waiting, we finally got the first season. It was kind of a letdown, at least in my opinion. The show only had 8 episodes to get through its entire story, and Hazbin Hotel is a very character and very story-heavy show. And so when you're only given 8 episodes, it's kind of like a rush to get to the finish line. They decided this is what we're doing our first season, and then they were given the episode count, oh, we can't fit all that in one season. So they kind of had to skip over stuff, and I really think it did a lot of damage to the show and all its potential. Now, I'll get more into that later, but I thought it'd be fun to go through and kind of give my own redesign, my own takes on a couple of the different characters. Give them a little redesign, a little Ratzica touch, And on top of that, while I'm redesigning the character, I really wanted to talk about the kind of stories and ideas that were presented through each character and what my thoughts were on it. I'm very, very passionate about this show. I love this show so very much. And so I really wanted an excuse to talk about it. And so that's what this video is. It is almost completely just me looking for an excuse to talk. So buckle up, we're in for a long one. Now, this is all just for fun. Please don't take anything I say too seriously or too close to heart. But getting into it, we're going to be redesigning Charlie, Alastor, Angel Dust, and Vaggie, kind of our main 4. And we're going to start off strong with Charlie. Now, Charlie's design is actually one that I really like. Her character's design is pretty simple looking, especially when she's next to other characters in the show. But I think she looks really cute. The only thing I don't love about her design is her when she's in her demon form. But that's just personal preference. But besides small itty bitty nitpicks I have, I think her design works really well for her character. Across the board for all of my redesigns in this video, they will each kind of get their own unique color palette. From the start, I knew that was going to be something I wanted to change. The characters in their original designs all have very similar color palettes to each other, and on its own, I don't think would be too bad, but since the world of Hazbin Hotel is very red and kind of the same color palette as a lot of the characters, it gets a little hard to differentiate, and it kind of makes all the scenes and environments kind of blend together. The colors red, white, and pink, and black even show up a lot in majority of the characters, which again I think could work because the story takes place in hell, but I think it misses the mark a little bit. The Hazbin Hotel art style has a lot of things happening in it, and I think if the characters were given more a stronger contrast from the background, those little details would pop so much more. The use of contrasting colors would also make it a lot easier for our eyes to kind of decide what they needed to focus on in a scene. And I think it would just be fun to give them their own unique pop of colors. Back to Charlie and what I'm drawing here. In my Charlie design, I wanted to add a few more openly demon bits to her design. Originally, I was going to go for the goat or lamb route, but that's been done so many times now, I really didn't think I could make a unique one enough to stand out alongside all these really, really cool looks. So I went back to brainstorming, and I do like the idea that literal Princess of Hell is the most human looking in the cast, which, when you look at Lucifer and Lilith, that it makes sense. But I decided to lean a little bit more towards Lilith, making her look a little bit more like a classic demon, and then saving her more angelic heritage from Lucifer for her powered up form, which I'll work on a little bit later. But no, I do really like Charlie's design, but my main gripe with Charlie is how she's treated and portrayed as a character in the show. I don't know if you knew this, but Charlie is the main character. Yeah, she's our main character. I know, shocker that the girl on the front cover and on all the posters is the lead. But, like, I genuinely think the writers forgot about that. I think they forgot about her. She has such little presence in her own show that it baffles me, really. Like, there's a few moments where her, like, beliefs and personality really poke through, but we're mostly just kind of, like, told about how Charlie is. In episode 1, where Charlie is about to run off to the meeting with Adam, and she's about to start singing, Vaggie's like, hey, maybe, like, don't go sing to them, but it's too late. She's already ran off. She's already dancing down the streets of hell. It's perfect. It really shows her naivety and her optimism, her just blind passion, just through her actions and that small little interaction between her and the rest, like, the other people in the hotel. And there's a few of these moments sprinkled in the beginning, but as the show kind of progresses and they start adding more characters and more subplots, she slowly kind of starts fading into the background in her own show. And the show switches from showing us to just telling us about how Charlie acts, instead of putting these small, really well written moments where her personality and beliefs really just kind of poke through just from how she's acting and behaving and interacting with people. They shifted just kind of taking the easy way out and just telling us. And unfortunately, I do think this is a problem born from the show just being so short. And no, I really wish Charlie had more time to shine. It's frustrating how her story gets passed up so we can explore other characters, which again, would be fine, but Charlie is supposed to be our main character. And I really wish we got to see her grow and change, but she doesn't. The hotel, it fails at every step of the way, but Charlie never has that realization that she needs to change how the hotel works to actually be able to help people. And it really just makes her come off as incompetent and just annoyingly oblivious. For example, in episode 5, Charlie exclaims how the hotel isn't working and nothing that she does is working. Angel isn't improving, they're running out of time. So what does she do? Does she change her approach? Does she reflect on her lessons and why they're not helping? Does she sit down with Angel and really talk about what he really needs? No! She decides to go up to heaven and show the higher-ups her plan and show them that the hotel actually, it works now? I thought we just established that the hotel wasn't working and that Angel wasn't redeemed. So why are we going to heaven and being like, oh, hey, grand seraphim of heaven, look at how much my friend Angel Dust here has improved. Like, girl, what are you on about here? Well, huh? We just discovered that it wasn't working. I don't know. I think the reason that Charlie is such a fun character to watch is because her blind optimism and trusting nature is such a stark contrast to the world around her. It makes for a lot of really fun dynamics and, like, potential plots. Her character traits themselves aren't very unique. We see this trope of in almost every show these days, the ditzy, clumsy optimism, you know? But the way she interacts with her world is what makes it fresh and new. But the show seems content to just kind of not go any deeper with that, you know? They're fine with her staying the base character traits that she has. You know, they don't want to give her any growth past ditzy and optimistic. The easiest way to fix this is to give her more screen time and use her interactions with the rest of the cast to further grow and shape her worldview. So let's imagine. Start of the show, we have her start off very naive and clueless. She truly believes that being good or bad is black and white. So, what do sinners do to make them go to hell? They do drugs, they steal, they have sex before marriage. She's really internalized this idea that these are the things that bad people do and they go to hell. And so her lesson plans and workshops reflect this very basic idea of how and what you need to do to be a good person. And of course, that's not how the world works. So the hotel doesn't work. And during her time trying to help people, she learns that redemption and being a good person isn't so black and white. She can't help people unless she truly understands why they do what they do. And it's only then when she really truly understands Angel Dust and that she has this growth and this understanding that she can truly reach out and try to be there to help him. And that's when the hotel starts to work. I could talk about Charlie's failed potential for hours. hours if I could. But back to my redesign. I'm really happy with how my Charlie redesign came out. Again, she's not crazy different from her OG design, but that's because I liked it in the first place. I imagine her powered up form would start off without the wings, and as she gets more powerful or more comfortable using her powers, that's when they would show up and kind of like show her growth as she's getting more comfortable with her abilities. I think the biggest difference between my design is this: I gave her the horns just permanently on her head. I thought they're really cute, and they pulled in some like reminiscent elements of her mom's design. And then when she powers up, they get like bigger, like they do in the show. Again, like I said earlier, I really like Charlie's design, so I only ended up tweaking some small bits of it here and there. I decided to give her a black top under her suit because I always thought the white was just too close to her skin tone. It blended all together too much. I gave her little crown is kind of like halo-like, you know? I probably could have pushed this design a lot further, but I didn't have that many ideas for her. I just wanted an excuse to rant about her character, if we're being honest. But with those changes, we're just gonna move right into the next character, Alastor. Let's just, real quick, go over my biggest issues with Alastor's design. Number 1, the weird Karen haircut. I don't like it. It's weird. It's bad. It's gonna be gone. Number 2, this will probably be the most controversial change. His color palette. I'm not in love with those original colors. Again, a lot of the Hazbin Hotel characters share very similar color palette. And, you know, giving each character their distinct color. So, since I kept Charlie red, Alastor's getting a change. Number 3, the bow tie. I've made it my goal not to draw anyone with a bow tie, because why does everyone have a bow tie in this show? And I mean everyone. Now, while I'm drawing, getting the sketch down, I'm gonna rant about his character. Now, I have a lot less beef with Alastor's character than I do with Charlie's. That's for sure. He's one of those, like, mysterious characters, so us not being able to, like, spend much time with him works out okay for him. And the show does do a really good job at hinting at his true intentions and making us want more and just get more and more curious about him. And I really think that if the show really just wanted him to be this mysterious figure that's kind of getting built up for next season, it would work out great, perfect. But I don't think that's what the show wanted and was going for. Let me explain. Alastor, when we first see him, is repeatedly says, oh, he's only here for entertainment. He doesn't really care about the hotel. He sees us all as like a little game. Then a couple episodes later, you know, we see him really stand up for the hotel. He seems to care about it. And then the next time we touch on it, Alastor's having like a complete breakdown because he got attached and he needs to focus on his mysterious true goal. And on paper, this could be a really cool arc that he could go through. Starts out not caring, he's just here for fun. He kind of slowly learns to love and care about the people at the hotel, and then he, at the last minute, panics and doubles down on his his original goal. But those 3, like, bullet points I just mentioned are the only times this arc gets touched on. Like, they kind of skipped over the in-between bits, the building blocks. We are constantly seeing Alastor's just, like, distaste towards the hotel. Almost indifferent most of the time. And then the next time he, like, switches to seeming to, like, really care about everyone. And then he switches back to, like, nah, I'm not attached. I don't want to get attached. And we don't see that growth. We don't see the small moments of Alastor kind of growing to care about the cast. Hell, we hardly see him interact with the rest of the cast, almost at all. The episode, like, that we see the most of him in is Video Killed the Radio Star. Is just all him interacting with random-ass characters. And those interactions contribute almost nothing to the plot. Like, we're shown a little bit in Hell's Greatest Dad, where Alastor seems to be kind of trying to claim, like, a father-daughter relationship with Charlie by, quote, saying stuff like, Charlie has a unique vision. I'm happy to fulfill her bizarre request, and quite an impressive young lady. We're all very proud of her. And when I first saw this, I thought he was just trying to, like, manipulate Charlie. But then later in that same episode, He fights off the demons attacking the hotel, and he has a very solemn, quiet moment with Minzy where he tells her, deliberately brought danger to this place just to have me come clean up your mess. I can't have that here. You're welcome to stay if you want to actually give redemption a shot, but we know that's not really your style, so you need to leave. And maybe I'm reading this wrong, but I don't know, Alastor, it's kind of sounding like you're pretty fond of the place. And then the next time we see it, he's talking to Nifty in the finale, and he's saying, oh, it's been a, quote, it's been a surprising thrill to witness these wayward souls find connection. Almost makes one sentimental. And then a little later, what an enjoyable collective to be around. I admit one could get accustomed. Huh? When was all that growth happening? When did that happen, Alastor? I for sure didn't see it. Alastor went from actively patronizing people to flat out ignoring the rest of the cast to liking them sometime off screen. And again, I think this would be a really cool arc for him to go through. I love this for him. But he can't have the, oh damn, these guys are actually like kind of cool realization off screen. We need to see it. Like his solo in the finale song would hit so much harder if we really got to see Alastor grow his relationships with everyone, only for when he almost dies for his new friends, he panics and doubles down. Quote, great Alastor altruist died for his friends? Sorry to disappoint, that is not where this ends. Like this moment where we really see his true motivations kind of like finally poking through. It could have been so much cooler. Okay, that rant is done. Back to what I'm drawing. I really enjoy Alastor's suit from his original design. I think he and Charlie's characters both seem like the type to wear suits, so I kept him in that. Just changing up, like, I'm taking off the bow tie. I added like this little like ruffly thingy, and then I added a lot more like kind of gold jewelry, and I swapped out his monocle for glasses for really no other reason than I just felt like it. Now, for his hair, because again, we're getting rid of the bob, I wanted to have it kind of like curly, so I thought this looked similar enough to his OG hair, which is kind of like taking away the undercut. It has the same vibes, but it's different, so nothing too crazy. And I don't know, he's supposed to be like a deer demon, and the most telling side of that is his horns, but they're so tiny, like you can hardly notice them on his original design. So yeah, bam, they're bigger now. Now, I'm sure you're all wanting me to talk about it. The biggest change, yeah, he's green now. So why did I choose green? Well, I just wanted to. I just wanted to. Okay, I had a little bit of a reason here. It's kind of like a half-assed reason, but it's a reason. When deciding what I want to do with, and I was like making my little Pinterest mood boards, you know, getting inspiration for each of the characters, I was trying to decide what direction I want to take Alastor, and I started looking at photos of New Orleans. Because according to his wiki, that's like where he's supposed to be from, and I saw these cool images of more of like a mossy bayou vibe, and I thought that could be really cool. So that's what I did. The coloring, I took a lot of debate, but I'm pretty happy with it. And I thought adding some like hanging moss from his demon form horns and making his like suit kind of like almost like it has like dirty patches, like it's almost like wet, made it all cool and swampy. So yeah. In the show, his magic is this like bright neon green, but I swapped it for red just so it would stand out a little bit more. But yeah, that's my Alastor design. I really like how he turned out. He's definitely the one I changed the most out of all the characters, but he's also my favorite. So I hope you like him too. But with that, it's time to move on to Angel Dust. All right, let's talk about Angel Dust. Now let's look at this guy's design. I like that he has a bit of a more unique color palette. I like the extra arms; those are really cool. I also really enjoy the whole spider motif. I think that's really cool. I like that he's a spider. It's interesting. It's cool. I'm keeping the spider bits. The section's gonna be a lot smaller than Alastor and Charlie's were, solely for the fact that I don't have a lot to say about Angel's character, or more like I don't have a lot I want to say about Angel's character. I'm gonna be talking a little bit on my thoughts about how he was portrayed and done, but I'm not super knowledgeable about his more kind of darker, more serious subject matter. And there's a lot of YouTubers and amazing video essays that have talked much more in depth and much more like knowledgeable about it. So if you're interested, I'll link a couple of my favorites. I personally don't love Hazbin Hotel's portrayal of Angel Dust and characters in that situation. For those of you who don't know, Angel Dust is an adult film star that is in a pretty toxic relationship and is in a very abusive relationship. And I think these ideas, while not my personal favorite things to explore in media, just because I like my more happy stories, I think it could be a very interesting thing to go over. I don't love how Hazbin Hotel does it. Angel Dust has a running gag, or it's treated as a gag, where he's constantly sexually harassing the other staff, specifically Husk, a lot, which I know is supposed to be part of his growth. You know, he starts at the beginning of the series kind of egging on and baiting Husk and the other staff members just because he's lashing out. But whenever this happens, like whenever he's harassing Husk, it's treated as a joke. And it's like oh, Angel Dust, you silly goose. And there's only like one time where Vaggie is like, Angel, stop harassing my staff, stop it. But it's still treated as a joke. Like, she's not saying it like seriously, like, hey, Angel, you need to stop harassing my staff. It's like, it's a joke. It's like, oh, Angel Dust, stop sexually harassing my staff. And again, like, I think that's supposed to be part of his arc, where he starts out hurting people, but once he kind of starts accepting help and aid from the rest of the hotel members, then he kind of stops acting that way and stops lashing out at everybody. But we don't really see the other side of that. We don't ever see him get reprimanded and it's like, hey, Angel Dust, this is not okay. Like, I just think if we got like one line, you know, of just when Angel Dust is on his like his shtick, you know, that he does, and if we just had like one of the characters, Charlie or Vaggie, go like, hey, dude, you need to stop. Like, we're trying to help you. Like, I know you're hurting, but like, stop. We're trying to help you. I think that would help a lot, because a lot of times it's just treated as a joke, which I don't love. If your show is going to take the stance of sexual assault bad, sexual harassment bad, which it is, you can't also have sexual harassment as a punchline, in my humble opinion. Like, we have episode 4 is Angel Dust's episode. That's where we really learn, like, we see like firsthand the abuse he's going through and why it's bad, and he kind of connects with Husks and he starts to accept help from the other hotel members. And a couple episodes later, we are at the bar while Angel and Vaggie are up in heaven trying to plead their case with heaven. Angel Dust, Nifty, Husk, and Serpentious are with Cherry Bomb at a bar, and we're kind of watching them as Angel Dust proves the hotel's working. And there's one specific scene where Serpentious there's like this ongoing bit throughout the episode where Serpentious has a crush on Cherry Bomb and really wants to ask her out, but he like gets brave and he's like, Cherry, can I buy you a drink? And then last second he panics and goes, because I'm buying everybody drinks. And it's a like running gag that keeps happening. And the conclusion to this gag is Serpentious is like, Cherry, do you want to have fun time with me? And he panics and goes, because I'm having fun time with everybody. And he gets dragged kicking and screaming into a room by other bar patrons and is forcibly had fun time with these strangers that he very obviously does not want to. And again, I know this is supposed to be a joke, but then 2 seconds later, Angel Dust has a confrontation with Valentino, his abuser. So why is it when Angel Dust is being abused and is being sexually harassed, it's serious and we're supposed to take it seriously and go, this is a bad thing. Even though we're in hell, this is a bad thing. But when it happens to anybody else, or if it's Angel Dust doing the harassment, it's funny. I don't love that. And that like scene in particular with Serpentious really bugged me because it's like, why is this a joke? But then, like, we're supposed to go back to taking it seriously and, like, oh, this is bad thing. We don't like this. I hope this made sense. That's about all I'm going to get into with Angel Dust. I think there is parts where the show does do good with his story, but then kind of fumbles it on almost every other aspect, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Back to the drawing. I kept his color palette pretty similar to the one his original design. A little bit more hot pink instead of like the kind of reddish magentas or like the baby pink that he has. I was told that the little dots under his eyes were supposed to be like extra sets of eyes, because like, you know, spider, and I really like that. I like that a lot. I think that's very clever. So I kept it, and I took it like a little bit step further by adding just a bunch of eyes when he's in his like super demon form, you know, his demon form. I really struggled drawing Angel Dust, and I always have struggled drawing Angel Dust, like in all of my Hazbin Hotel fan art and stuff that I've worked on. He always looks the worst out of all of the rest of the characters. I'm working on it, and I do think I think it shows in this redesign, unfortunately, but yeah, there's my finished Angel Dust. Sorry this section was so close. Sorry, Angel Dust fans. I love our guy, and I love you. Alright, last but not least, Vaggie. Now, I had a lot of ideas for Vaggie's character design. Vaggie in the show is supposed to be very warrior protector of the hotel. That's her job, right? While Charlie is the very kind and kind of gentle parent, Vaggie is very much tough love mom, you know? But her OG design doesn't read protector, at least to me. So I knew I wanted to go with more like a warrior-esque outfit. I like Vaggie's original color palette. The purpley gray skin looks really pretty with the really bright contrast of the white hair. Like the maroon accents look pretty nice on her, so I'm sticking pretty close to her original colors for this one. Now, again, while I'm working on the drawing, I want to talk about her character, because I have thoughts. I'm honestly really confused on what they were trying to do with her character in the show. Being just completely honest with you here, guys, we're shown time and time again just how much Vaggie loves Charlie. Everything she does is for Charlie. She constantly is saying she is nothing without Charlie. Husk even says, like, yeah, girl, we know you hate yourself. Like, homegirl has no other motivation or no other personality outside of, I love my girlfriend. I am nothing without her. So seeing that, I thought we were going to get this whole arc about where she's going to learn to love herself and live for herself rather than giving all she is to Charlie. But, apparently that's not the lesson that Vaggie needs to learn. According to the show and Out for Love, the duet that Vaggie sings with Carmilla Carmine, Vaggie needs to learn how to live and fight for love, not for revenge and anger. Vaggie needs to let love be her motivation. And at the end of the song, when she finally learns how to fight for love, that's when she gets her wing back and has her triumph moment. And she convinces Carmilla Carmine to help them. I'm sorry, what? Huh? I cannot describe how much this drove me nuts. Vaggie, my beloved, as we see her in the show, has only ever fought for love. That is all we ever see her do. I don't know what they were trying to do here. Like, if they wanted to have Vaggie's character growth be about learning how to not let herself be driven by hate and anger, that's great. That can be really compelling. Like, here we have this fallen angel now stuck in hell, abandoned, left by her fellow angels, and she wants revenge. Amazing. But you have to show us that. Vaggie has never once shown hatred towards the other angels up until, like, the finale. She, like, made, like, a passing comment here or there about, like, oh, can we, like, really trust heaven? Or, like, when Charlie's like, hey, you're coming to heaven with me. Vaggie, like, hardly fights it. Like, this character, who supposedly is motivated to fight out of the hatred for heaven, is like super nonchalant about the whole, you know, redeeming demons to like get them to heaven and like going to heaven. She's super nonchalant. She's chill. It feels like we were setting up a different character than what they decided to give us at the end. Whenever it takes, tells us just another duet that Vaggie has with Carmilla Carmine, it shows and tells us how much Vaggie loves Charlie, and she would do whatever it takes to protect her, and she stands by her no matter what. Like, I'm sorry, she does not need some random ass girl teaching her how to fight for love. She already knows that. She already knows how to fight for love. Vaggie as a whole is just missed potential, and her whole plot of like actually being an angel was so disappointing because there's just so much drama and cool stories that they could have told with a secretly an angel reveal, but no, they don't do anything. But with all that said, this is my Vaggie design. I love her. I am really pleased with the changes I made. Again, I kept pretty close to her color palette, and I gave her a cool little angel form. I don't know. I got myself worked up about her character because I'm sorry. It's very frustrating being told constantly that, oh, hell of a boss. The sister show to Hazbin Hotel, it's for the boys. We're gonna focus on the main, like our male characters, and it's gonna have male leads. But Hazbin Hotel, that's for the girlies. We're gonna have our amazing female leads, and then at every turn, your female leads are getting kicked to the curb. All that said, here is my final Vaggie design. I'm gonna be honest here. I was pretty nervous about continuing to make this and posting it. As I said earlier, I really, really love this show, and I've met some amazing people in this community at cons and online. But much as I love this show and its fandom, there is a very vocal part of the fandom that gets pretty up in arms about redesigns and criticisms that are directed at the show, which, hey, I get it. It sucks when your fandom is the butt of the joke. It sucks that, like, whenever you say, oh, I like this thing, there's like an army of people coming at you telling you why you shouldn't like it. When a show that you really, really like is constantly getting shitted on and relentlessly made fun of, it sucks. And it makes you defensive over this thing you like because you feel like you have to defend yourself for why you like it. Like, I get it. Hell, I was in the Dream SMP fandom back in the day, and that was like the most hated fandom back in like 2021, 2022. I understand. But I've seen so many artists get just so much crap thrown at them just for redesigning the Hazbin characters, which, like, guys, can we like chill out a little bit? If you don't like watching someone speak badly or sharing their critiques and their thoughts about the thing that you really like, don't watch it. You are allowed to like this thing with your whole heart and think it's perfect and it's done no wrong, but people are also allowed to dislike it. But again, on the other end of the spectrum, don't go shitting on people for liking the show either. Like, just let people do their thing, okay? Be nice. Just let people enjoy and do what they want. So yeah, that's the end of my rant. This whole video is a very, very long rant and a lot of pent-up thoughts and feelings I have about the show, because again, I am so genuinely passionate about this show and the world and its characters. Hell, like, I could dedicate like 3 more of this bad boy. Each character gets their own video because I just love talking about them. I love it so much, and I'm really excited for season 2. I'm gonna be there watching it day it gets released because it's fun. It's a fun time. But yeah, if you want to share your thoughts about my designs, about my thoughts on their characters, good or bad, please let me hear them. I would love to talk about it. Again, I love talking about the show. That's why I've been talking for like, I've been recording for an hour. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we're all just people consuming media, and I like to talk. So please, talk to me about it. I had a lot of fun making this video and just having an excuse to talk and rant about one of my favorite shows. And if you liked any of my art here, you should check out my Instagram and or Etsy. I've got a ton of Hazbin Hotel stuff on there that you might be interested. So maybe check it out. But thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye!